And we are live. Hello, everyone. This is NDC joining again for another React discussion for not Has Been Hotel or Hello Boss, but finally getting around to Digital Circus, the pilot / episode 1. Joining me again is through random, no longer Skype, but like Google Meets order, Wolfgang.
Hello, everyone. So this show was a very interesting one to bring on for me, considering that I've had a hyperfixation on Digital Circus for a month now. So being able to rewatch the pilot with some of my best friends is really a treat. Plus, also looking back at my past, I keep realizing me being trans was abundantly obvious. But whatever, that little guy was an idiot. I've also been working on more music projects, more projects in general, more future stuff, more friends, more IRL events, and I am doing great. But all that I have to ask is, why is Ragatha such a people pleaser, and why do I kind of see myself in her with how she tries to make the best out of every situation? But that's a story for another time. Thank you for having me.
When we have the discussion after the intros.
Yeah. Let's get
All right. Next up, Jenn.
I may be first, I may be last. I may be wondering who
Okay.
I am first and always will be, Jenn. Hello.
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 We'll send the translation for that later.
Yes.
Yep.
So see, we have the
Yay.
All right. And then next up, Gator, you there?
Gator did not show up today.
Where's Gator?
He abstracted.
How do you do? Gunmetal Gator here. I just hopped on here from like a robot right now just to talk about this Amazing Digital Circus show that I've already watched a lot of, and I've already made plans to watch the theatrical release when it comes like on June 4th. So, oh boy, that's going to be hectic.
All right. And then next up, Second and Day.
Yes.
Yay.
This is the second opinion in Daylover. My critic first in the fan second. Actually, we are also the guides to this show a bit, as it were.
Even if we have watched this, I'm still like, what am I watching?
How's that effect?
What's going on? Oh,
The second day is our guidance. Is our guidance.
As is Wolfgang.
Let's go. The guidance.
I'm curious to know what Jen thinks.
Look towards the second day.
We are here to guide you towards the second day on the Amazing Digital Circus podcast discussion.
All right. I guess we should probably jump straight into discussion just because since some of us have to leave pretty soon because it's almost midnight this time.
Oh shoot, yes, and I must if I may give my opinion and everything, and then I unfortunately I must jump off.
Go, Jen.
Okay.
Go, Jen.
Okay. Psychological.
We can't hear you.
I think you're fading out a bit.
Jenn is literally abstracting right now.
Oh no! The
Yes.
circus has gotten me. Oh my gosh! Let's try that again. Okay. Who the hell puts existential horror in my Saturday morning cartoons?
I mean, it is very 90s kids coded, nice and
Oh
good.
my god! This had reboot written all over it. I have to wonder if the team who did reboot did this, because the animation was so with the exception of some of the darker shades in there which I'm surprised to be seeing, but it just felt so kind of maybe not exactly maybe I would say reboot, maybe a little bit more refined than reboot, but yeah, the whole thing just screamed 90s CGI
Well, as it was supposed to. Apparently, this was, I mean, a backdoor clever budget saver, but the idea is that they're in a computer game following the digital look of 90s digital stuff and things like that. Like they reflects in certain moments that when it is the goal, budget permitting, they can do much more advanced animation.
Oh yeah.
That is true. That is true. So, and pretty much just describe. Oh my god! I just mentioned reboot, and you pretty much described what this is. I was like, oh my gosh, just described it. But wow, I'm with you, Day. I've had moments. I'm like, what the heck am I looking at here? But at the same time, when Ragatha, is that the one that looks like Raggedy Ann?
Yeah,
Ragatha. Oh my god, oh my gosh, that's a reference. Ragatha. Well, that is such. Well, we now know what happened to Raggedy Ann and Andy, and so I'm convinced that this is their love child, and nothing can sway me. I will hear no argument. I will hear no argument unless my Wendy doll on my bookshelf is hiding some secrets that I don't know about. Are you?
Okay, I don't think we need Raggedy Sus though. Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy are brother sister.
Oh my god, gross.
What have I done? We tried worse.
Well, while we're talking about gross, one thing to establish ahead of time is that this show is based or inspired by at least on a classic sci-fi story from one of the low-key greats called I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream. Yeah, which is one of the most edgelord things you will ever read. And that might have even been enough to kill it if it wasn't so darn masterful. But the two main differences are, one, the reason that the main characters are trapped in this, must play games for all eternity over and over is because the rest of humanity is dead. Because, two, the AI controlling them was created to end the war, which it did by absorbing all the side's AI and wiping out all of humanity. Because, the difference between him and Kinger is that this AI hates humans and is doing this to torment them. So they'll be constantly playing games in vain and losing, and the only objective they have to hope for, which is some half-decent food, never getting it. So Amazing Digital Circus's flip is an AI that can't do anything about the fact that they're stuck here forever, but simply loves fun, loves the sound of its own voice, so making them go on these adventures, and loves the humans.
Yeah.
Oh. Wow.
I've actually watched multiple videos about I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, and let me just say, watching a video that fully goes into detailed plot and character analysis about a mix of the game and the book makes the show make so much sense, considering actually understanding the source material, you know?
Wow.
Yeah, honestly, you probably know more about the original story than I do at this point. I've leafed it, and I mean, I'm reading, in my defense, I'm reading Moby Dick right now. That's a lot of commitment already, but maybe I'll pull myself up by my britches and, plow through all the way through it. But again, it's very edgelord. I feel like you gotta be in the mood.
Wow. But considering I've never watched I Don't Have a Mouth and I Must Scream, this is all just new we need, It's all just new to me.
I think it's only a short story and a video game adaptation of all things. I don't think there was a TV or movie version.
Wow.
Right.
Well, I think I'll end my little spiel here with a bit of a what the fuck. But I will admit I am intrigued. Morbidly intrigued of it to see what else goes on. But how many episodes is this?
Oh,
We're
this
up
is
to
going to be
8 right
9
now.
episodes.
Episode 9 is going to be an hour finale. They're promising us right now. My favorites are, I believe it's episode 5 and 8.
Ooh.
Okay, so there are 9 episodes of this.
Yeah.
There will be by June.
Okay, there will be 9. Okay, fair.
Honestly, I would say my favorites would be 2 and 4.
2 and 4. I mean, I liked 2. I feel like there was a sort of build up to a lot of things in what is it? Or no, wait. Oh no, 6 I guess is my favorite. I'm wrong. I don't know what I remembered 5 as. What it actually is.
I don't think I have a favorite yet.
Yeah.
I have to think about it.
Yeah, I mean, there's like good stuff here. Yeah. 4, I mean, I don't know. There's a lot that like the show plays the long game in a lot of ways, but I'm actually surprised you skipped over 3. We get to learn a lot about a certain character in 3.
It's kind of like, here's the thing. 3 is a very obvious one to love, but that's not what I'm going for. I love 2 and 4 specifically because it sort of completes an arc, basically.
My favorites are like 8 and 4.
8 and 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like starting out, favorite characters. We learn a lot about these people. Starting out, I think my favorite character was straight up Pomnig. I mean, there's a lot to relate to about her situation, and that's gonna become more and not less by episode 2. There's a lot to come to really feel for with her. By 8, I'm not sure that any of them aren't my favorite character.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there's a lot of relatability. I mean, Jax, he's deliberately made hard to like a lot.
Yeah.
But
even him, not supposed to be a loser.
Like, there's something more to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And amazing that's the original, the pilot, the Hazbin Hotel pilot voice of Angel.
Yeah. Michael Kovic, he's always in like indie projects. That's just his thing.
Right. I couldn't help but like figure out like where have I heard that voice before for Jax? That's so familiar. And then you said it was Michael Kovac, is that his name? Kovac?
Michael Kovic, yeah.
Kovic.
Yeah, exactly.
So Michael Kovic, thank you. That was the pilot Angel does. I'm like, oh, and then I could hear him talking. And then I was like, yep, there's Angel Dust right there. There he is.
He's like a very universal voice actor. Like, check any indie series whatsoever, and you can find him. He does everything. Like, check any credits, you can find this guy at this point. He is like,
is he like the Troy Baker, the Troy Baker of the indie projects?
Yes.
He's in every single indie project you can see. Like, he's everywhere. There's not one project he has not been in. He's even in Lackadaisy. He's everywhere.
No, like he's even in Rough Up Danger Dogs.
Exactly.
And that's a freaking tokusatsu like a stop motion animated series.
Exactly. Yeah. He's everywhere. There's no escaping him. Michael is everywhere.
He's the answer to Troy Baker.
Exactly. He's the answer to Troy Baker in any form of indie project. He's always there. Doesn't matter. He's always there.
He's the answer to Troy Baker. All right. So next, death battle between him and Troy Baker. I will be.
If they have all the powers of all the characters that they voice act, then that would just mean Troy Baker literally gets 2 different persona characters.
Pretty much. Oh my God, pretty much. Yes.
And then like Angel's guns.
Pretty much. Oh, and before I jump off, let me just say a second. I came across your Hawaiian pizza post.
Hawaiian pizza.
Yeah. I came across your Hawaiian pizza post, and I will say one thing I must recommend you try is Hawaiian pizza with jalapeno on it.
Ooh. Interesting.
Spicy for me, but second might like that.
Yeah, I would recommend try that with jalapeno. And if anybody tries to put cinnamon on your pizza, don't do it.
No.
No.
Unless it's
I would
The
take
first
that.
rule of cinnamon on your pizza.
I'm serious.
do it.
Like, one time when I got a Hawaiian, once, there was literal cinnamon on it, and then that was a moment I was like, "You've gone too far."
You've got too far.
Until-
Stretching it.
Hey, Jen,
Yes.
until you see the raisin pizza.
The what?
Yep, raisins.
Raisin
Ra-
pizza?
Raisin.
Let's try Hawaiian pizza for the first time.
Yeah.
Okay,
pizza.
I just ate Hawaiian pizza
Wait, but the
in the
pineapples
weekend.
after. Put it on when it's cold.
Yep. Hawaiian pizza was fine. I
Yay.
kind of thought it would have been better if the pineapple were just more onion or more ham instead, but
Sure.
what can I say? Can I opt out of this debate forever now and never
All right,
hear
you know
about
what?
it again?
Go ahead. As a fellow lover of Hawaiian, as a fellow lover of Hawaiian, I will be like, yes, you can be excused. Just I will say, I like it. I honestly like it too. I like it too. Like, okay, so I'll never forget this one argument. A former coworker of mine from a long time ago once said he hated Hawaiian pizza because he said it would turn you gay. I'm like,
Oh, good Lord.
and I was like, and to this day, that was the dumbest excuse I'd ever heard. The dumbest excuse ever. And I never forgot that because it was so stupid. And so I remember trying to fly.
These guys might have a little bit of an insecurity problem with our masculinity.
I was so shocked. I was so shocked in the moment. I was so shocked in the moment that I was like, I didn't ask him like why. I was just too shocked of it, you know.
Look,
I'm going to find some
you're not gonna like
strawberry ice cream to
fanboys.
chase you around with.
Exactly. You're not gonna suddenly be gay and start hooking up with fanboys just because
exactly. And if you do, for some reason you do, then you just have to accept that it was there all along.
But we're going to make buff fan art of the pineapple and make it hot.
But I would suggest try it with some. I tried it with jalapeno once. There was one place around here that did that. They had the most clever name for it. I mean, you can call it spicy Hawaiian or whatever, but the most clever name for it, and I love it, is the Pacific Rim. It's perfect.
Nice.
It's perfect. Like, okay, this is great. This is great. This is the only way to do it. And honestly, that's my favorite variation of it. Honestly, I can do Hawaiian as it is, but I don't know, something about putting jalapeno on it. It actually kind of breaks through the sweetness and gives you a little bit of heat.
Honestly, that sounds good.
Wait, what about putting salt with like your pineapple pizzas?
Then it would be like a sugary salt kind of taste.
I've never heard of anyone putting salt on there.
I mean,
wouldn't it already have salt just in a lot of the products?
Because of the ham, honestly. Because of the ham, honestly, I would think.
Hmm.
I would think that because of the ham, it would have the salt, you know?
Yeah.
What if someone like cooked the ham and like there's like traditional like recipes for ham that I've had on like Noche Buenas, like a Cuban tradition. What if someone like cooked the ham specifically like that and then put it with the pineapple pizza? So then it's like this delicious, perfect ham, and then it balances out the fact there's pineapple.
Like a Cuban? Is it like a Cuban ham?
Ham is a pretty big part of Cuban cuisine, so there's a lot of recipes for it.
Oh yeah, I remember having a Cubano sandwich. And oh man, did that hit!
Cuban sandwiches are so good, man. They are so good.
I love Cubanos. Love Cubanos.
Oh,
anyway,
podcast about a TV show or something.
Anyway, sorry about that. I meant that to be a parting comment, but I ended up making a conversation about it. I'm sorry.
No worries.
And then in the next episode, Pomni has an entire episode about eating pineapple pizza.
Boy, that would be
Oh my
hilarious.
god. Am I predicting the future or something?
That's gonna be the biggest part of the final episode.
Oh no.
Mhm.
Gator, remember that one time when we somehow predicted that Pidge was a girl in
Voltron.
Voltron? I
Mm.
swear.
You swear like what?
Wolfie just said we were just talking about pineapple pizza, and now Wolfie just confirmed, like, yeah, there's an episode where she eats pineapple pizza. I'm like, oh my god.
There's gonna be an episode where she'll eat it. I know certainly it's gonna be somewhere in the finale.
So it's not even out yet. So okay.
No, I think we were just making that up to be silly.
Yeah.
Oh my god, if that shows up, I'll lose my mind.
Uh-huh.
Okay, but all in all, Digital Circus. Wow. Again, who the heck put like existential horror in this and 90s cartoons and such, and just it made it, I don't know, it made me morbidly curious. And also the voice of Pilot Angel Dust in this. Yay!
Let's go.
Bada
Let it go.
boom.
Yes.
Yes.
Bada boom.
Yep. Awesome. And hey, why not? Can't wait to see the next episode.
Yeah.
And now I
he's
must
just as much as a loser.
And now I must go because it is time for me to sleep. I must go. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, internet. Good night, everybody.
Good
Good
night.
night, Jen.
Good
Good
night.
night, Jen.
Night,
Good night.
Jen.
Good night.
Good night, Jen. Alright, so before I give some of my piece on the episode, I just want to ask real quick, how far are you guys in the show? Because I just want to make sure I don't give any spoilers or anything. When I just
DC hasn't seen any episode besides this one, so I think
I
you're
see.
zero
Okay, I know what to
spoilers.
talk about then.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, for me, like, it's interesting watching this one, and it's like, it's probably my least favorite episode just because it's basically the character introduction episode, but thanks to like Twitter and YouTube and all that, and clips, I'm aware of basically the general character personality. So it's like I sort of got the gist, just not the.
Mhm.
So the more plot focused episodes will probably be where I get more interested in. But
Yeah,
Well,
honestly, I feel like my favorite I have
Go
a
ahead.
lot of favorite characters in this, but I feel like I have a really concrete tie in between like Ragatha and Gangle. Because like even just from the content from this episode alone, I relate to Ragatha having like a people pleaser and toxic positivity complex a lot, because I have done with like a lot of people of like constantly trying like people please and like make it can seem like everything's positive all the time until you eventually just start snapping like she does when she's talking to Pomni. But I like legitimately relate to that a lot, and I also relate to kind of the feeling of masking and like sort of breaking between different emotional states the Gangle does, because I feel emotions pretty intensely. So I do relate to like both of them. But when it comes to like characters that are my favorites just because of how silly they are, it's definitely Bubble and Kinger. Because not only is Bubble just Bubble, but Kinger just randomly saying like, did you see a game show over there? Just, I know this guy's lost his marbles, but he's lost his marbles in a good way. It's charming how much he's lost his marbles, you know? He's lost his marbles in a charming way. And then, you know, Jax is just,
Quickly said.
man,
Who's
Jax,
Jax?
Jax reminds me of a couple of my friends. And when I say a couple of my friends, I mean a couple of my friends who like genuinely annoy me. And let me just say, I hate this rabbit. I just hate this rabbit. He's annoying as fuck. Like, I literally just can't stand him. He's just a dick all the fucking time. And I know that it's obvious that he's masking at points to, you know, cope with Kaufmo getting abstracted. But here's the thing. All the other characters are also dealing with the loss of their friend. And you want to know what they're not doing? Fucking pushing Gangle off the stairs, and she could have gotten attacked by Kaufmo. So yeah, I just kind of hate that guy. And then when it comes to like Pomni and like Zubul, Pomni just, she's we don't see much of her character yet, considering that she's just struggling the entire time. It's interesting how she keeps trying to visualize the exit as a way to get out, but I feel like she's just like in the first episode, she's really not doing much except for like losing her marbles. And we don't see much of Zubul either, except for the fact that like Zubul canonically, like I think according to Gooseworks, Zubul goes by they, them, and any pronouns at the same time, mainly as a sort of play on the fact that Zubul has a lot of different parts because of being like one of those toys that has multiple different parts. So Zubul like canonically goes by either they, them, or any pronouns. Zubul is one of the only ones I feel like just can't stand Kane or Jax. Like it feels like they're one of the only ones who like straight up is done with both of them, because I can see Zubul being nice to other characters, but when it comes to like those two and Kinger that one time, it feels like they're sort of the opposite of Ragatha when it comes to actually speaking their mind and not taking the fact that they're in a terrible situation, if you know what I mean. Like instead of constantly saying that everything is fine, they actually, speak their own mind. So that's like
I mean,
really
Zubul
my
honestly,
view when it comes to characters in the first episode.
like Zubul honestly seems like just Jax's nemesis purely in that they're the one with the wherewithal to push back. Like,
yeah, exactly. They're one of the only ones who, instead of just taking Jax being a fucking dick, they actually are just like, hey, shut the fuck up.
yeah, like Gangle seems like she would say that if she had the confidence or the chutzpah too, and Kinger, like he doesn't seem particularly aware of what's going on half the time. But
Yeah.
Zubul, there is no such restraint on that one.
Because here's the thing, Kinger is just like, he's not really there. And Gangle is like, again, similar to me when it comes to being terrified of conflict. So she's just not going to do anything about it. But Zubul just doesn't care. Zubul is going to call him out for his bullshit. And you know what? I implore them for that. Because they're one of the only characters who has the common sense to call this guy out for being fucking ridiculous. Because one thing that just shows off with Jax and how like he can be seen as kind of cruel from the outside is that every single character except for Jax had an extremely negative reaction to Kafumo's abstraction. He's the only one that didn't make a big deal out of it. And even Pomni, who just showed up to the circus, was more distraught about Kafumo's abstraction than Jax. So with that kind of behavior constantly, that he didn't even care that somebody who was a close friend to everybody basically just did the circus equivalent of dying and, trying to kill everyone. And he just doesn't care and makes everything worse for everyone. Yeah, I think Zubul has the right to crash out about that, It feels like they're one of the only ones who has the common sense to call him out for his bullshit.
Well, Jax, draws like a spotlight onto how like I'm trying not to give too much away. Okay, people who are suffering from something. I mean, like, getting to the bottom of that, or like, recognizing that okay, it's not all their fault. That's not always sweet. That doesn't always feel good or look good. Like, there's toxicity can be really hard to deal with in all its forms and all the people it affects, including the victims, which certainly interesting, but it does not make him any easier to deal with.
Yeah, the way that I see his character in the first episode when it comes to that is like basically the equivalent of the abused becomes the abuser, where again, everybody here is trapped in this horrible situation. So because of that, it feels like because everybody is losing their minds all the time, the way he copes with it is hurting other people. Even though just because he's hurting like everybody else doesn't mean that he has the right to do it. So he's one of those kind of characters that you can understand his actions considering that they're all losing their minds. But at the same time, you have someone like Ragatha who's also literally like was in excruciating pain for the entire episode.
I thought
And
they can't
again,
feel pain if they're just digital.
the thing is that she said multiple times in the ending that she was feeling pain, which makes me feel like the physical, like the digital bodies can still feel some sort of amalgamation of pain, because she had said that she was in agony at the end.
It's almost hard to take her word for it on its own, at least. Like, that in and of itself, weirdly, especially for stuff we'll see later, doesn't come off as conclusive proof.
It just feels kind of strange because you have someone who's like literally like physically distorting, who doesn't seem to be quite fazed by it at all and doesn't treat anyone worse because of it. And then you have someone like Jax who's experiencing no form of physical or mental anguish in that moment except for seeing Kaufma abstract like everybody else is. And he's the only one that's being cruel about it, when every other character experiencing the exact same thing, Ragatha is experiencing worse. So again, it's like it's a reason, but it's not a justification, you know?
Well, I feel like a lesser show, one thing I like about Digital Circus, a lesser show would make the point of that to condemn Jax. Digital Circus makes it about, while recognizing that the behavior in and of itself, the thing to do with it is to condemn it, is about exploring, okay, what makes somebody act this way? What is the vulnerability and the insecurity under the coping and the BS and etc.
I find it really interesting because Jax reminds me of the reason I have like slightly less tolerance for him than I would is because I've had to deal with many people throughout my life who are very similar to him and who use the like past experiences as like justification for their actions. So from experiencing that, I know that he has justifications for his actions, you know, he's suffered like everybody else here has, but it's still
you should be turned off by him. You absolutely should.
It's
and that's part of the
difficult to feel
point
sympathy for him, you know?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's part of the point that the reason for his behavior is not all of this cool, dismissive edgelord stuff that he says it is and continues to say it is through the show. It's because he has like psychological weak points that he's struggling with besides he has an unbearable situation like they all do, and he has specific ways of coping and specific points at which he's struggling, and even, as we'll see, things that are important to him that he has a not uncommon but unusual way of going about and coping with.
The thing is that not only is the way that he's coping with the situation toxic, but it also goes on to like a further point that it feels like each character has a different toxic way to cope with the situation. Like no character doesn't have an unhealthy coping mechanism. So I feel like Jax's unhealthy coping mechanism is being terrible to everyone. And again, it doesn't really make what he's doing right, but it feels like intentionally each character has an unhealthy coping mechanism on how they deal with the situation. And I feel like that manifests with each character's actions, like with Jax's against characters like Gangle and Ragatha, for instance. Like a lot of his actions are based on a lot of his actions, and you know, being an unbearable person to be around feels like one of the many unhealthy coping mechanisms that each character kind of has at the core of their character notes, you know?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I guess Zubal's personality, like for the pilot here, was kind of just the grumpy one, but they're like, I feel like they go on. I mean, if any of you has ever known, like even someone in the ballpark of this type of person, that as they sort of unfurl their cards, they demonstrate Zubal to be, that you will really identify. But I mean, you might not be that person yourself, but I feel like a lot of people have known a Zubal.
Yeah, exactly. Like it feels like Zubul is kind of like an opposite to Ragatha in certain ways, where Zubul has a coping mechanism of being overly negative, while Ragatha has a coping mechanism of being overly positive. Here's the thing: you might expect for that to make one good and one bad. No, they're equally bad because toxic positivity is a thing that exists. So it again goes into the same core thing where it's just like both are equally bad because each character has a bad coping mechanism.
I'd
Because
say a
who
flawed
wouldn't have
one.
a
The
bad
the
coping
point is
mechanism?
not really to condemn them, I don't think. And I mean,
Oh
I don't
yeah,
want
it
to
isn't really
spoil
to
too
condemn
much,
them. It's just
but yeah,
like a coping mechanism that isn't necessarily healthy is like a core part of each character, you know?
yeah. I mean, like unhealthy, sure, but like, yeah, I don't know. It's boy, how do you say? It's like it almost like it makes sometimes it heck makes them flat out admirable, but like I guess the moreover point I'm trying to say is that yeah, this is like they have their strengths and weaknesses. They have their points at which they're what one of the others needs. But yeah, it's like really a bit of a commentary on the world we live in, where making it better, making it worse.
Yeah, and there's also a character like Gangle with the various different masks, which again, not spoiling anything from a future episode with Gangle. When it comes to Gangle, there's also like a core thing about her character as well, where because she has extreme emotions that are very difficult to control, she puts on different masks depending on the situation. Here's the thing though,
That's
masking
probably
your actual emotions can only get with a very literal metaphor can only get you so far.
yeah, that might be the least subtle metaphor of the bunch, but I'd give them a lot of
Exactly.
credit. See, we're talking about all spoiler stuff, but yeah, it ends up being more complicated than that with
That's
the
why
math.
episode 4 is my favorite episode.
Right. Honestly, I think episode 6 has my single favorite Gangle moment where, like, yeah, what trying on these masks can symbolize and what they say about her personality and, yeah, her uh, moments of, um, yeah, high emotions and low emotions and trying to make them last when they won't and etc.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like despite the metaphor being very straightforward, it's still a very interesting thing to explore because again, it shows like it doesn't have to be a positive or negative coping mechanism. It can just be like one core strife that the character has, which is kind of similar to I have no mouth and I can't scream in certain ways because
Mm-hmm.
like each character has like one deep thing in their character notes that's extremely important about them and defines them as a character, which is again very similar to the source material. So it's just interesting analyzing them to see, well, which one is it for each character, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Oh,
like in that regard it stays pretty in that regard it stays like, pretty true to the source material.
mm-hmm. Oy. Yeah, at the same well, again, I feel like I need to go back and like, yeah, read through it properly instead of skipping the parts that are going slow for me and whatnot. But
Oh, trust me, not only did I not read it, I also did not watch the video game. What I did was it was a Friday night and I had watched a 30-minute video analyzing all the characters of I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream and giving the basic plot summary. And then after that, I fell asleep. So this is just based on the information that I know from that 30-minute video. I know
fair enough.
nothing.
Like,
Ah,
but I mean, I would like Amazing Digital I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream seems like, from what I can tell, it's more concerned with the what of its scenario, with yeah, the like digging its teeth in a little bit on like what humanity could work its way up to. Digital Circus's game seems a lot more humane, making it all the darker that it is also not above bad things happening to its characters on any level. But yeah, Digital Circus plays a bit of a different ball game there, where that one's concerned.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like there's a lot of very obvious similarities and very obvious differences between the source material, and it's interesting to like sort of like see what kind of things she sort of picked and choose because again, there's a game version of this book that has multiple endings that weren't in the original book. So you really just have to like combine both the book and the game at the same time to fully understand what she was going for here. So I feel like the true Amazing Digital Circus experts are the ones who have fully read the book and fully played the game because she's using source material from both, considering that the game has multiple exclusive endings the book just doesn't have. So it feels like she's taking from like an equal mix of both. So some things that aren't in the book but are from the game are most definitely present here.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Good.
so I feel like the only true expert of this show is probably someone who's played fully the game and, you know, read fully the book. I feel like that's the only person who would like be fully an expert on this, considering that that is the source material.
Mm-hmm. Point. But yeah. Cannot stress this enough, though. Like I said, if there is a difference above all else, it's that I have no mouth and I must scream. It is not shy about the edgelord stuff. Some stuff is like borderline. Dude, did you really have to go there?
Yeah, trust me, from the 30-minute video alone, I totally get your point. For a moment there, I was just like, okay, do I even want to continue hearing about this?
Yeah.
Like with the girl character in particular, man, I was just like, oh, good fucking hell. I don't know if I want to keep going through this.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Like, I didn't like bleh, as someone who's like experienced like slight essay in the past, I just did not want to hear about that in such graphic detail. Like they did not have to go there. It's just kind of gross to me.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. What's kind of hilarious is like, okay, I might actually potentially converted a couple more people to Amazing Digital Circus. This couple I work with who are like real life Bert and Ernie. I kid you not, darn close. But yeah, the one of them of the two who, well, one's a super feeler. The other one though, he's like, I guess more like what's the word? Jovial is his personality. When I told him about it, he said that, yeah, the guy who wrote I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, he's like, oh, that's one of my favorite authors. So
Oh,
right away.
that's actually kind of interesting.
Right? Really. So, like, yeah, if you're a sci-fi fan, yeah, there's a lot that you realize comes with the turf, I guess. Like the contract that you signed without
from
signing.
customer service.
Right.
Trust me, my mom literally has a hospitality degree. I have heard a lot of stories.
Mhm. Here. Hey, but what can we say about the pilot, since both of us are like itching to spoil things that we probably shouldn't, if there's anything more to be said?
If there's anything more to be said, particularly about the pilot. Honestly, I feel like I do really like the style of animation because they cycle through like the like 90s pixelated style animation, and then they go to like the more 3D animation that still has styles of like simplified 90s animation. Like the best example I can give is it feels like the mix of the first quote unquote 3D Sonic game, like Sonic Extreme before it got canceled, and then like the last 3D Sonic game that they made right before. Actually, I'd venture to say this was like a mix of like Sonic Extreme and Sonic Adventure 1 type graphics when it comes to like that era of animation. But the fact that they made it in 2023 with like that style of old like early 2000s animation is very impressive that they were able to pull off, because the style just feels so accurate to that time period, you know?
Fair enough. I will say, like, coming back to it again now that I've seen all the episodes released so far, and I know I'm a lot more familiar with what its game is and which ones are my favorite. The pilot is better than I remember. Like I
Yeah, exactly.
I thought of it as the warm-up act after the first time I saw it. Like, it did not take me long to be glad I was moving past it and seeing other things, but there are more nuances to it. If I have to say who the star personality was this first time out, I probably would say Jax. It seemed like they were having the most fun of him. Zubul is just a grump this time out, like I said.
Zubul is suffering.
I mean, she's funny this time out, but yeah, like the Zubul moments are yet to come. Same with Kinger, who he was probably funnier than Zubul. I'll give him at least credit for some individual moments and stuff, but like the fact that Jax, that Jax is like ostensibly helping them make their way through the mission and keeping them safe and himself safe from Cosmo, and making fun of the Queen. He probably is the personality they're showing off the most this time out, and I mean, that's not bad. He was like, I mean, I guess the real star, thinking back to what my reaction to it the first time was just taking in the situation and sharing Pomni's horror with her, and like thinking, okay, so is this going to be a show about finding the exit? And then, the fact that she gets back to it relatively soon in the arc, only for that to be like, nope, this is a show where there is, and we can't say this enough, is no exit. That that stuff effectively enough toys with your emotions. It's just the fact that I guess the fact that it works its way back around to, all right, so what are we hoping for is why it can feel like not as much as you'd like is happening. But like now that I'm past the point where the show has made its game known, coming back to episode 1, I don't just feel like I'm watching the warm-up act. It's still not my favorite one, but there is 25 solid minutes of entertainment there.
Yeah. Like, I legitimately, looking back at it after like watching through the rest of the series, fun fact, this show actually was originally difficult for me to pick up for a very, very, very strange reason.
Do tell.
You see, I, kid growing up on the internet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking born in 2009, obviously I was growing up on the internet as a kid. I was like 4 and I started using this old fucking computer that was like a block. And the thing is that because of like seeing things at a young age and like getting taught how to not get computer viruses, I developed a very strange phobia at a really young age that I'm still not yet to fully beat. It's a fucking phobia of actually digital distortion, which is really funny because it lines up directly with abstraction in this show. And because of that, it was actually, when I first watched the pilot in 2023, it was difficult for me to pick up. Not because I didn't like the show, I liked the show, but it was difficult to pick up because of the phobia I got from a young age because of growing up on the internet. So I started to like watch it more and more, and then eventually I got the hang of it and started really liking it. But it was difficult for me to pick up because I developed such a strange phobia as a kid because of growing up on the internet. So this was like the only reason it was difficult for me to originally get into the show is because of the fact I have a strange phobia because of growing up on the internet as a kid. So that's kind of the most interesting fact I have about my experience watching the show, is that it was originally difficult to pick up, even when friends told me to watch it, because as soon as they told me about the plot, I was like, this plot is the textbook definition of my childhood phobia. This might be a bad idea. So that was like the one reason this was difficult for me to pick up, was because like the plot itself is like textbook definition of my childhood phobia. So I was like, okay, man, this might be a little bit difficult to start on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like a weird fact about it. That like this show was originally difficult for me to pick up because of my childhood phobia. So the more you know.
All right, I guess.
Yeah, that's all I got. Oh,
yes.
good.
Any other closing thoughts? Because as we move on to midnight.
Oh, true. I just got a message from Icy about fucking Survivor, asking, "All right, smart guy, without googling, what is this one Survivor character known for?" I don't fucking know, man. I don't fucking know. I don't fucking know who the hell Boston Rob is from Survivor season 7 or whatever the hell. It's nearly midnight. Why is he even awake right now?
Yeah, let's not find out. Final
Let's
thoughts
not find
on
out.
Digital Circus, because I feel like I gave mine.
Let's go.
Okay. I guess right now, like for Digital Circus, its start was very open-ended. It wasn't like my favorite outright when I had it compared to the pilot for Hell of a Boss specifically, because I mean I did like it more than Has Been Hotels pilot. That's definitely for sure. Like it had a lot of good grandstanding, and I feel like everyone was like very lukewarm for like a lot of these characters, since this was like the bare bones introduction and whatnot, and Pomni just felt like a really good perspective character for this moment. So
Yeah,
I'm just hoping like it all finishes in like in a great display from a month from now, you know?
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to it. And also, it's gonna be in theaters. And the thing is,
sorry, not a month. 2 months, sorry.
There's a very big
Month or two.
fandom for like any sort of like there's a pretty good amount of alternative people in Orlando, and I've seen like glitch merchandise in a Hot Topic near me, which makes me think that like with the amount of like Amazing Digital Circus cosplayers I've seen in Orlando alone, and the fact that it's gonna air in cinemas, will I be able to actually snag a ticket to see the finale in Orlando, considering there's enough of a fan base for this to be a possibility? Because if I am, that would be sick as hell, and my parents have already fully agreed to it if we're able to hunt down the tickets. So I'm just like stalking every single Orlando cinema page and just keeping my fingers crossed that somehow there's enough Digital Circus fucking cosplayers at MegaCon to justify airing the movie in Orlando. Because I swear, if it's in fucking Miami and we have to drive like 4 hours back down to Miami when that's already where I was born in the first place, I swear I'm gonna crash out, because it would be a 4-hour drive to Miami for one movie, and I already did that for the Sonic 2 movie.
I'm going to Miami. Welcome to
Oh my god, they always used to play that at my Zumba class, and it would drive me insane.
That actually does remind me. Is like funny enough, when I did my recent like springish Mardi Gras like Orlando trip, it just so happened like I wish I would have known this in advance, because I will take advantage of it. Like, was the MegaCon going on in Orlando? It's like I wish I would have known about this not the day before I'm heading back. I would have
to the convention. That's crazy. I was actually at that time.
like,
That's
gosh
insane.
dang it. I wish I would have known that, because I actually would have like took like a got 1-day ticket and just stopped by there, but nope. And then all I knew is because I was going back on the back road from like SeaWorld to like Orlando Eye, and like that goes right next to the convention center.
Wait,
I seen a
hold
whole
on.
bunch of people in costumes. Like, oh, I seen signs for MegaCon. I was like, oh dang, I wish I would have known that.
Wait, the Orlando Eye? Not only have I been there, but that's 30 minutes away from my house. That's sick as hell. It's actually really nice there. It's like Sunset something or other. I went there for my birthday as well while I was on a really stupid call with Icy. And honestly, it's really nice there. Like, I've been there like a lot of times. The only thing is that my dad's kind of scared of heights, so we went on the actual Orlando Eye, and yeah. There was times he was entirely calm, and then times that looking in his eyes, it looked like he was about to, in real life, abstract. We're just like, hey guys, don't worry, it's fine. And just like, is there anything that could possibly keep us more calm? Oh, I know. And then I just started playing hysteria music which is like pretty not relaxing. It's like, okay, it's actually making it worse.
The story is we all need a group trip to Florida sometime.
Let's go.
Awesome.
I know all the places in Florida. I've been trying
If it reacts, go to Florida.
I've been
Hosted
trying
by
to all my
Wolfgang.
life.
It would have
I
to be
can be the tour
something.
guide.
Would have to be something nerdy and ironic there, which I'm trying to think of what would be.
Well,
There's just going to be
Disney's
something
there,
randomly
there's gotta be
nerdy and
something.
ironic. Trust me, there's a lot of nerdy and ironic things in Orlando alone, and I actually know that.
Well, I'm reassured.
All you gotta do is whatever you do. If you guys go anywhere near where I am, if you see a raccoon, run. Do not get near it. Those are evil motherfuckers. Do not get near. They might look cute, but they will destroy your house and then laugh at you in the middle of the night when you're trying to sleep by trying to destroy their room.
I feel like we all basically knew that. Everybody basically know that. Okay.
I'm
with
scared of
that
raccoons
said-
now.
With that said,
And with
though, I
that
guess see y'all next time for the next episode 2 of Digital Circus.
Ciao, everybody.
Ciao.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.